Alright, y'all. I got cut off. I got a phone call and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, going back into it, part 2, I guess you would call it now. But like I said, I believe the majority of people will take it. They won't resist it because it's too inconvenient and too much trouble. But I don't expect, or nobody expects the world to, go against it, because it's a worldly thing. But the Christians, on the other hand, are not. They're supposed to be set apart, and you're supposed to do what God says, not what the government says. I mean, this day and time, where is the church and where is the Christians? We shut them all down a few months ago to keep from getting sick. So, I mean, you can think what you want on that. Maybe it was a good thing to keep people from getting sick and all that. But I don't believe the church doors should be shut. I believe if you don't want to come, if you don't feel safe, then don't come. But that shouldn't be a government mandate. They're overstepping their bounds, just like they always do. That's the principle of government. But where in the church are the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? If the governor came out tomorrow and gave you a statue of himself at a certain time, you had to go and bow down, or if somebody seen you not bowing down, they turn you in, then you get in trouble. Like I said, people are already bowing down when it's a little fine or a misdemeanor or something like that. What about if they told you that they were going to throw you in a furnace? What would you do then? Would you do what God said, or would you do what man says? That's something I can't answer for you. You have to decide that on your own. And honestly, I don't want to be put in that position, because there's always a chance that you will, take the easy way out. But I would, hope not. And I mean, the bottom line comes down to how much faith you have. How much do you trust God to take care of you? When they went in the furnace, they didn't know God was going to bring them out. They thought that was going to be it. They were going to be burned to death. And they gladly took that to stand for God and not for man. Can we do that today? Where are the people that believe like that? Where is the faith like that? Like Daniel. And like I said, Daniel in the lion's den, I'm sure everybody knows that story. But Daniel was a praying man like we ought to be, but we're not. But he spent his time on his knees, pleading to God. And they came up with a way to destroy him, because the wicked ones, were jealous of him. He was doing what God had him to do, and he was, high up in the kingdom. So they tried to get rid of him. They tried to make a decree or whatever the king signed, because he wasn't paying attention. It said every day at a certain time, or you couldn't pray to anything but him. He was the god of the Babylon or whatever. That type of thing. And they knew that Daniel wasn't going to do that. So they waited and watched him until they caught him praying, and then they turned him in. Then it was nothing the king could do to go against his decree. So they thought they had won, but God was faithful, because Daniel had been faithful. So he brought them through the lion's den. They never harmed him at all. But bring it back to yourself. Would you still pray to God if they were going to throw you in the lion's den? What about if they were just going to put you in jail? Would you still do it then? Or what about if they were just going to give you a fine? Would you still do it then? I don't know. I don't really know if this video has a actual point. I'm not a, high intellectual or even a big Bible scholar, but I'm just telling you what I'm thinking about right now, and maybe it'll mean something to you, and maybe you'll get something out of it or not. I don't know, but that's just where I'm at right now. Like I said, I believe some rough things are coming, regardless of whether it's biblical or not. You know, regardless of whether you believe it or not, I believe that there's a lot of evil men taking advantage of their power that they're given. So, anyway, like I've been saying, stay prayed up, prepped up, and strapped up. See ya.